Good evening, everybody. Hello again. It's good to be with you as always. These little times that we get to spend together are very, very special to me, and I love them, and I hope that they may be a blessing to you as well. Again, this is Dr. Keith Schweitzer. I am the pastor of Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Greenfield, Iowa, and also Faith Lutheran Church in Winterset, Iowa. I serve two congregations. I am what my church body, the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, calls a bivocational pastor, and that has a lengthy explanation to it. And I won't get into that this time, may talk about it another time. But I want to talk to you this evening about something that is near and dear to my heart, and has been a very, very rich blessing to me throughout the years of my life, and I am very thankful for these blessings. I'm thankful for the joy and the peace and the hope that the Lord has given me through this particular aspect of my life. Not just my life and my career as a pastor, but throughout my whole life since I've been a Lutheran. And I make mention of that because I haven't been Lutheran all of my life. I've been Lutheran for most of my life because I'm starting to get up in years, but I don't come from a Lutheran family. Many people do, and there have been times that I've been a little bit envious of that, but that's okay. There's a lot of Lutheran people who did not grow up in a Lutheran family and who don't have a Lutheran pedigree, so to say, and I am one of those. I am a true blue Lutheran convert. And I want to share with you one reason why. What is it about the Lutheran Church that attracted me and has kept me all of these years that I have been a Lutheran, and look forward to being a Lutheran for many more years to come? When I was a youngster and was taken to the Lutheran Church for the first time, the experience that I had of the worship service absolutely captivated me. Why is that? What was it about the Lutheran worship service that just has captured me the very first time I was there, and I have been captivated by it ever since? It is because the Lutheran Church is an old church. As a matter of fact, it is the oldest Protestant church body in the world. It has been around since the time of Martin Luther during the Reformation era, and that was the 15th and 16th century, so we're talking more than 500 years ago. But the way that we worship in the Lutheran Church even goes past that. In the Lutheran Church, we worship in a manner that is called liturgical worship. It is a very traditional form of worship. It is a very ancient form of worship. It is the way that Christians have worshiped for centuries. And that I absolutely love it because there is an aspect of liturgical worship of which there is this back and forth, this interplay between the pastor or whoever the person is who is presiding over the worship service and the people of God who are in the worship service. They speak back and forth to each other. They sing back and forth to each other. It is a very traditional, as I mentioned. It is a very old, and from my perspective, it is also absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love the music. I love the hymns that are truly sacred. I love the liturgy. I love speaking the creed and the Lord's Prayer and the rite of confession and absolution and all of the individual elements of the liturgical worship service. We celebrate the Lord's Supper every Sunday, and we have a sermon every Sunday. It is absolutely beautiful, and I love it. And that is the style of worship that we have in both of our congregations that I serve, Emmanuel Lutheran in Greenfield and Faith Lutheran in Winterset. And I truly enjoy it because when I am in church, when I am having the privilege to lead God's people in worship, that it is truly a privilege and a blessing to worship the same way that Christians have worshiped for centuries, speaking the same words, developing and expressing the same faith in the same God, in the same Lord Jesus Christ, who lived and died and who rose again for us. I love the idea that we are attaching ourselves and that we are in fellowship with Christians throughout the ages. And so it shows forth in our worship services, which are liturgical in nature, and they are beautiful, they are elegant. There is a formality to them, and I say that in contrast to what is very common in a lot of churches in this day and age, which are very contemporary. They have contemporary worship, and they're very relaxed in their style of worship, whereas our worship is more formal, and that's true. I do wear robes, I wear vestments that show forth the fact that I am in the presence of God and that I am serving in God's at His pleasure as a pastor of the church. And so I do wear vestments, and I do wear a clerical shirt that you see that I'm wearing right now. So all of that to say that in our modern day culture, you really do have two basic choices. You have the contemporary worship service, which is very common, and many people prefer that and who like that style of worship. And there are those, perhaps not as many of us, but there are those of us who still hold fast to the ancient, historic, and beautiful liturgy of the church. That again, I simply say to you, I truly love. I have loved it for over 50 plus years, and I still love it today, and I will always love it. And I share that with you. That if you come to visit us in our two congregations here in Greenfield or in Winterset, that is the kind of worship that you will find. That is the worship that you will see and experience. And one thing that I will say about liturgical worship is you do need to give it a chance. You can't really learn it in just one Sunday. You need to come, 2 or 3 or 4 Sundays in a row and get a chance to exercise your practice of the faith of the liturgy and get a little bit more familiar with it. So there is a little bit of a learning curve to learning the liturgy, but once you have it down, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I absolutely love it. So it is true to say that if you come to worship with us, if you come to visit us, and I certainly invite you to do that, that is the kind of worship that you will find. If you'd like to see an example of liturgical worship, of how we do worship, you can go to my YouTube channel and just type in Keith Schweitzer, KeithSchweitzer, and you can watch one of the worship services at your pleasure and see how we do worship and what a liturgical worship service, what a formal worship service looks like. I can tell you for sure that I absolutely love it. And yes, it is true that it's not the style of worship for everybody, but it is very much the style of worship for me. And who knows, it might just be the kind of worship for you. Give it a try. Come and check it out. Go to my YouTube channel and see what it looks like. And perhaps you too will find yourself captivated with the elegance and the beauty and the language that we speak in a beautiful liturgical service. And it certainly has made my life and has brought me much peace and joy, and perhaps it will for you also. Thank you very much for your time, and check out our website for the two congregations. I've got the address here showing on the video for you. And by all means, come and give us a chance and give the liturgy a chance, Our worship in Greenfield is at 8:45 in the morning on Sunday mornings, and our service in Winterset is at 10:30 in the morning in our little church in Winterset. Again, check out our websites to find out where they're located. And come see us, and come see what a beautiful form, a very ancient form, and yet still a very up-to-date form of worship looks like, the liturgical worship that we use in the Lutheran Church. You all take care. Blessings to you. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you again later and at another time. So have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.